Beloved, it's a pleasure coming your way once more. Today we are discussing why we must love one another as Jesus loved us. Beloved, Jesus' desire for us, for the entire church, and for the world is to live in love. And Jesus wants us to love not our way, but His way. Today, as we have this discussion, my prayer for you is that you would appreciate this new command that Jesus gave. On that fateful day, when Jesus said to His disciples, "A new commandment I give you, love one another as I have loved you, that also love one another." I believe strongly that He was trying to tell the disciples what will set them apart from the world. No wonder He continues to say that by this all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love one for another. Beloved, when we express genuine love, the Jesus' kind of love, the new commandment kind of love, what is called the agape, if we exhibit this love, then we are resembling Christ. Beloved, the Christians earned the name Christians because in Antioch, when others look at them, they realized that they were behaving like Christ. I'm sure much of all they did, which made others to nickname them Christians, were exhibition of love. Today, we are in a world where the world wants to see love in us Christians. One famous religious person who was not a Christian said that he loves the Christ of the Christians, but he doesn't love the Christians of Christ. In other words, what he's trying to say is that when he sees the Christ that Christians seek to demonstrate, when he sees this Christ from Scripture, what Christ did in Scripture, what Christ taught in Scripture, he really admired this Christ. But when he looks at the lifestyle of Christians who claim they are following Christ, a lot is left to be desired. Christ is counting on us to show Him forth to the world. Beloved, what the world really wants to see in us is not just what we say, but how we live out what we say. And the best way to live out what we are saying is to demonstrate the love of Christ in our actions. A lot of times, when people even fall into temptations, they are overtaken by temptations. Sometimes, instead of loving them by praying for them, we rather try to criticize them. You can easily find criticism in church. The church is supposed to be a place that people come and they are healed of all kinds of sicknesses or diseases. And some of these diseases may not be physical, but they may be behavioral. But a lot of times, when we meet people, by our own action, we drive them away. Christ wants the way we love others to heal them in the world. I pray for somebody watching this video that you begin to love as Christ loved us. How did Christ love us? He died for us. He allowed Himself to be crucified for us. He allowed Himself to be insulted for us. And this is what He wants us to do to the world. He says, by this, all men will know. Everyone will know that we are His disciples. So it's not by preaching that we are necessarily disciples of Christ, but it is when we preach out of love. It is when we do something out of love that we are actually the disciples of Christ. What Christ is trying to say is that the singular mark of a disciple is love. And not just any kind of love, but the love that is willing to exhibit itself sacrificially, unconditionally, and in a forgiving manner. Beloved, I want you to know that Christ himself set the pace by loving us in this way. And this work that he has done has become the source of our salvation. If you want to love as Christ loved, then you must be born again. And if you want to be born again, then you have the opportunity. Kindly say these words after me. Say, Father, I thank you for sending your only Son into this world to die for me. Today I believe that he is the Son of God, and I confess him as my Lord and personal Savior. I put all my trust in him, and I want to live for him all the days of my life. Kindly write my name in the book of life. Amen.